I'm going to start this video by a very simple question. If you are a politician or a decision maker and you have an enemy in your neighboring country or abroad, and you had the opportunity to fake an attack on your own country and blame your enemy in order to give yourself the justification or the legal pretext to attack that country, would you do that or not? We all know that, there are so many good people around the world, people who don't want to harm other people or other nations, but people who are in a position of power, they think differently. And their aspirations always are limitless. So they want to expand, they want to have more resources, or they want to eliminate any threat. So if you had the chance to blame your enemy of attacking you falsely, would you do that or not? In my opinion, if a decision maker has the opportunity to do that, they would do it. And this is what we call false flag attacks. Now, false flag attacks, if we want to define it, it is a political or military action carried out by state and non-state actors with the intention of blaming opponent for it. The first time the term false flag was used was in the 16th century, when pirates used to fly a flag of a friendly nation to deceive merchant ships into allowing them to draw near. So there's a ship for the pirates, they raise a flag of a friendly nation or a friendly empire in order to deceive merchant ships that belong to that empire from coming closer to this pirate ship. And when they come close, they take over the merchant ship, they take over their products or whatever is on that ship, and they take over it. So they deceive the other side into coming closer, and they take over their materials, weapons, products, and even sometimes slaves, people, etc. Although nations have often staged real or simulated attacks on their own side and blamed the enemy as a pretext for going to war, the false flag attacks were unfortunately historically either ridiculed or ignored. But today I want to give some examples of false flag attacks. Nazi Germany, for example, just before World War II, used a false flag operation before its attack on Poland, which initiated World War II. So the Nazi Germany used a deception against Poland to invade Poland, and this led into World War II. And I will come later why this is very dangerous nowadays, also to speak about the false flag attacks in Ukraine. So the incident was called Gleiwitz incident. Back then, the Gestapo, which is the secret police of the Nazi Germany, operatives from this Gestapo dressed in Polish army uniforms, and they seized a radio station in Gleiwitz, which is on German territory, and they broadcast a fake message in Polish language. The operatives left even one corpse at the scene in the radio station to make it appear that a Polish saboteur had been shot while attacking the station. So they even left a body on the scene. And when the people came and investigated or checked on the scene, they found out that that dead man was actually just a normal person, an innocent local from that village, that the Nazi secret police operatives made him dress up like a Polish army uniform. They killed him, they put him on the scene, and they blamed Poland of invading German territories or killing German citizens. So this was one of the many staged incidents along the German-Polish border and was used by Hitler, who accused Polish authorities of ethnic cleansing of German-speaking Poles to justify the Nazi invasion of Poland, which of course had been planned many months earlier. So Hitler already planned to invade Poland many months before this incident, but he used this false flag operation, which was conducted by the secret police of Nazi Germany called Gestapo, and they staged a scene and they blamed Poland, and this was the justification for them to invade Poland. And remember, this has caused World War II. Another false flag attack that I recall recently, from the recent history, let's say, was the 2018 alleged chemical attack in Duma, when the White Helmets organization which is funded and trained by many Western governments and even regional governments in the Middle East. This organization staged a scene in the city of Douma, which is on the suburbs of Damascus, or accused the Syrian government of using chemical weapons there, which has never happened. And how do we know that it has never happened? Because later, the whistleblowers from the OPCW, the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, whistleblowers from the organization itself, including researchers, scientists, and investigators who were on the ground in Douma, they went into public and they shared their opinion about it, and we know from there that there was no chemical attack. But despite that, just after this alleged chemical attack, Syria was targeted by the United States, the UK, and France. There was a tripartite aggression against Syria, right? So they fired Tomahawk missiles, they fired from the Mediterranean, and also, I think, used their air force. So an organization, non-state actor, staged a fake scene in Syria, accused the Syrian government of using chemical weapons. Foreign countries come and bomb Syria. This is a false flag operation. Another attempted false flag operation that I remember is from 2014, when the head of Turkey's intelligence, Hakan Fidan, who is still in charge of the Turkish intelligence, he told his colleagues, senior security and diplomatic officials in Turkey, during a meeting, that he is ready to send his men to Syria and make up a cause of war by ordering a missile attack on Turkey. So the head of the Turkish intelligence wants to send his operatives to Syria because in 2014 ISIS was occupying large swath of the northern part of Syria. The borders were very chaotic. There's no Syrian government checkpoints or border crossings, etc. He will want to send few people from his side. They come to Syria, they fire a rocket or a missile on the Turkish side. Turkey is a NATO state, and this also triggers an invasion from Turkey and also a solidarity or also help from the NATO countries. And how do we know about this? Because the audio of the meeting was leaked. So somebody who's obviously in the meeting or somebody planted a recorder in the meeting. They recorded it, it's in Turkish, and then translated into English, and Turkey considered this an act of aggression or an act of war against Turkey, and they blamed foreign hands for leaking this information, and also banned YouTube after that because it was published on YouTube. So Turkey attempted to do a false flag operation in Syria. They didn't do it. Of course, they have done so many other things, but they couldn't do this operation. So false flag attacks are real. They're not conspiracy theories as they're trying to convince you and me and others. And this leads me to the recent missile attack on a village in Poland, a few kilometers away from the Ukrainian borders, and which killed 2 farmers, right? Because Zelensky here is blaming Russia for firing a missile on Poland, which is a NATO member state, and by doing so, he is pushing NATO into retaliation, or into evoking the Article 4 of the Coalition's Treaty, which means all member states of NATO should join Poland and defend Poland against an aggressor. And Article 4, I think the first time was evoked after 9/11 incidents, and back then all the NATO members joined the United States against the war on terror, quote unquote. And Zelensky, by doing so, by blaming Russia, he knows that the consequence of it means, direct clash between Russia and NATO, right? And that simply also means World War III. So he repeated this narrative over and over again. He's been repeating it almost 3 days now. Although both Poland and the US said that the missile was actually a stray Ukrainian missile and no collective military response is required from NATO. But Zelensky, till the moment, he insists that the missile was Russian. And this makes me really wonder if Ukraine actually staged a false flag attack against Poland to blame Russia and trigger a NATO intervention, direct NATO intervention, and cause World War III. And this also, I'm reading today articles in the media. There are American officials are expressing anger at Zelensky because they say we're losing our trust in him because his allegations are actually not correct. But here I want to mention something. If we put the map in front of our eyes, Russia is attacking Ukraine from the east to the west. And Ukraine is responding from the western side to the eastern side. Like any rocket that should come from the Ukrainian side should fly on the eastern side, not on the western side. So if this is really a stray Ukrainian missile from the air defenses, it should have been flying over the skies of Ukraine and heading towards either south or towards east. And Poland is on the western side of Ukraine. So this makes me wonder if what the United States say and Poland say about this incident is also accurate, because probably they want to also cover this false flag operation and say, look, this was just a stray missile from the Ukrainian side. Probably it's not. Probably it's Ukraine who planned this operation, false flag operation, and probably the Russian side has hard evidence, satellite imagery or so, that they have sent to the American side that prove the point of the Russian side. And I think till the moment the Russian army and the American army, they are in close contact. They try to talk all the time to decrease the tensions, because I'm pretty sure no one among these armies want World War III. So the communication is still, it's going on all the time. So if the Russians send the American side hard evidence that actually Ukraine staged this attack, the American side will come and say, look, this was just a stray Ukrainian missile, let's forget about it. So this could be one of the scenarios. But just imagine if NATO reacted quickly or recklessly after the accusations of Zelensky. Reacted, engaged in an act of war against Russia. What could have happened for humanity, for the rest of the world? So, and also makes me wonder how many lies were fed to the general public by Zelensky and the media that pushed humanity on the edge of abyss. I think this is very dangerous, that the media, especially the mainstream media, parrots and repeats everything that Zelensky claims, and there is no fact checking. It's just like anything he says is just a fact. But this time Biden came out, the Pentagon, the Polish side, they all said, look, this is just a stray Ukrainian missile. And I would never rule out the possibility that it was a false flag Ukrainian operation which was caught by the Russian intelligence agencies and the satellites, and they showed hard evidence to the American side, and the American side said, look guys, this is just a stray missile, so let's cover it up, let's forget about it, and everything is fine. So I just wanted to address the issue of the false flag attacks, because I mean online you see people are ridiculing this issue, and it's not, I mean, it happens all the time in any war, at any times of tensions, even before the war, so that you have a pretext to attack your enemy. It happens, people do it, politicians do it, especially the leaders, those who take decisions. Deception is part of the war, and if you think otherwise, I think it's a very naive thing to do. I've been your host, Kirk Almasian of Syriana Analysis. If you like my content, please subscribe and hit the like button. And if you want to support me financially, there are so many means in the description below. And see you next time.